Sarah, do you have Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. And there we are. Yep. Okay, guys, thank you very much. We are live right now. That is so funny. We have 2 people already watching. Okay, so thank you very much. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of insurance. Why is it that some people think it's very important to have insurance, while some people think it's a crap or it's a lie or it's dodgy? I don't know. Everybody has their own different mindset when it comes to insurance. I have my own as well, and I'm going to share mine later, why I think it's important to have insurance. But today I have some specialists, some professionals who this is their area of expertise. So they're going to tell us more about why we should insure ourselves. And we have Marvin here, and Marvin specializes in life insurance, whole of life, family income, and some things I don't even know, but he's going to enlighten us today. So we have Marvin. We also have Sarah, who is going to talk to us about critical illness. There's also an insurance cover called critical illness. So Sarah is going to enlighten us more about that. And then we also have Tyrell. Tyrell is also going to talk to us the importance of insuring our jobs. It's called income protection. So that if you're sick and you can't go to work, instead of relying on this £90 government payout, which we all know is totally rubbish. I will not even be scared to say that, because if you have income protection, then you have you're secured. So you can still continue with your lifestyle. Your children can still eat what they want or live the way they want, even though you're sick and you're not going to work. So that's called income protection. And then we have Martha, who specializes in will and testament, and she's going to tell us the benefits and the importance of having a will. Now, some people always think that, oh my God, don't talk about will. If you talk about will, I'm going to die. You're going to kill me. Do you want to kill me and inherit everything that I have? No. Talking about will does not mean that you're going to die. It just means you're putting your house in order. Okay? So imagine you leaving your house in the morning, going to work, and coming back in a very dirty house, messy house. You have to push everything aside before you get in the house. It's not a nice feeling. So it's the same thing. If anything happened to you, God forbid, and you died, now everybody will start fighting for this, fighting for this. And me as a Kenyan, we have a good example, a very good example of a family who was fighting because the dad was very, very wealthy and he did not have insurance, a will in place. So the importance of having a will. So today, guys, we are in for knowledge. We are in for power. We are in for proper education. And I'm so happy that we're having this session today. So before I talk too much, because I love the spotlight, I always love the spotlight, and I don't want to do that today. I just want everybody to introduce themselves. And I'll start with Marvin. So Marvin, if you can just introduce yourself, just a little bit. Don't take 20 minutes. It's just 1 minute.
You know me very well. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody is well. My name is Marvin Porter. I'm a personal protections specialist and under a brokerage firm called Precise Protect.
Okay, thank you very much, Marvin. And then I'll go to Sarah. Sarah, please, can you just introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Sarah Ikinwin and I'm also a protection advisor, specialising most insurances. So yeah, that's me.
All right, thank you, Sarah. And also we're going to go to Tyrell. We also have Tyrell. Tyrell, can you introduce yourself, please, Tyrell? I think we've lost Tyrell. This is called technology. This technology. You know, in my language, we say technology. That means technology defeated people, if I can translate it in technology. So yeah, technology. So we've lost Tyrell for now, but I'm sure he's going to come back. And then we also have Martha. Martha, if you can introduce yourself, please.
Hi, my name is Marta Konke-Walczyn, as you already said. I'm one of the managers within PP, which is Precise Protect, the insurance company and the broker in the UK. I'm also the owner of Polish Advice Bureau, which specializes with, we are helping Eastern Europeans with adapting within UK facilities, and we specialize in legal advice, compensations, insurances, wills, testimonies, and all all of the legal stuff, really.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, the thing that, and we also have Jordan. Jordan, can you introduce yourself? Because you all work for a company called Precise Protect, right? Yes.
Hello,
Jordan.
Yes, and I'm also an insurance protection specialist working with Precise Protect, and I specialize in helping people put the right cover in place.
Okay, thank you very much, Jordan. Okay, Tyrell, we lost you, now you're back. So I hope we won't lose you again, because this is a very important topic and we don't want to be going in and out. So Tyrell, introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, my name's Tyrell Augustus. I'm an insurance specialist. I've been doing it for about around 2 years now. And what I mainly specialize in is income protection. However, the company I work for is called Precise Protect. And the main covers we do is life insurance, critical illness cover, income protection, and like business insurance, public and liability.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, my first question will be, why is it that I know a lot of people that I talk to when I'm trying to tell them about insurance, and the first question always is that insurance people are dodgy. Okay, that is always the first thing. Insurance people are dodgy. I don't want to hear about them. So I just want us to discuss why is it that sometimes insurance don't pay? I'm a witness of seeing insurance paying. I'm also a witness of insurance not paying. So I've seen both sides, and I know why both sides happened. But I want to hear it from you guys, because this is your area of expertise. Why is it that sometimes insurance does not pay? So I'll start with you, Sarah, please.
It's funny, actually. I'm really glad you started me, Lydia, because one of the things that I thought about straight away when you said, why doesn't insurance pay? And the first thing I thought was a critical illness claim. And a lot of the times, people, when they're filling out insurances, or maybe if they're going through, let's say, the bank or the post office or something like that, they don't go in depth with the forms, with the clients. And there can be a lot of things that is missed out. So a lot of the times insurances, it's a very, even though we're just filling out forms, we're paying monthly, it's quite a technical piece of work. With insurance, you have to make sure that every detail is filled out correctly. If you miss information on your form, that could actually just completely make an application void. So a lot of the times, it's not that insurance doesn't pay out. They go based on the information that they're given at the time that you fill the form out. And then if somebody went to make a claim and the information is inaccurate, it can cause an application form to be void. So generally, that's mainly the reason why a lot of forms, a lot of applicants have found that their insurances do not pay out. So that's what I would say.
Okay, thank you very much, Sarah. Okay, I'll go to Martha as well. Martha, can you just top up what Sarah said, or if you have any different comment regards to why insurance don't pay?
Usually it is the lack of knowledge, because, people sometimes they underestimate honesty of our loved ones. Let's say sometimes they lie because when it comes to cigarettes, for example, they always think that you have to be cut out, and that's how they check in if you're actually smoking. But in the real life, the insurance companies, how they check if we smoke or not, they call your GP to find out what have you disclosed in the beginning. And then let's say, okay, you didn't disclose you smoking, and then you had a heart attack, you fell down in the house, and then your wife is there, she's trying to rescue you. She calls the ambulance, and the first question in the ambulance, what would they ask? Does she smoke? Does she do this? Does she take the medication? Obviously, wife will say, yes, of course he smokes 10 cigarettes, 12 cigarettes, he is a smoker. So that goes straight to the report. And then if it comes to the payout of the benefit on the policy, what would happen? Then it wouldn't pay out, obviously, because it was allowed. So as far as people just lie because they want to have lower premium, but we have to let them know, we have to stress out how important it is to actually say the truth, how important it is to say what's actually there, because, you know, it might go to underwriting, and it might go, you know, to be checked, the report and stuff. But then on the end of the day, you make sure your client has what they, you know, what they wanted to have. And then they are protected 100%. But I think the major reason why policies are not paid out is the lies. People don't disclose. Another thing is, another scenario is when people don't know if they've got benefits at work. Let's say they purchase an income protection and then they bought it from week 1. And then what happens if they've got extra benefits at work and they don't disclose because they don't know?
Yes.
We ask them, okay, are you protected at work for how many weeks? And they say, oh, I'm not sure, or I don't know. Or they will say, I don't have any protection. But then if it comes to the payout of the claim, then the insurance company will be like, hey, come on, he's got like 4 weeks full payout at work, so we are not going to pay. And then that's another reason why, if, let's say, income protection is not paying out sometimes.
Okay, thank you. Wow, thank you. Marvin, do you want to add anything on that point?
Yes, yeah, definitely. Just to add to what Sarah and Marta said, which is definitely the main thing, non-disclosure of medical conditions is a massive, has a massive implication in the cover when claiming, but also in regards to certain brokerage company don't have a compliance department. You know, like with us, we have a compliance department that goes through each policy and each detail with the client, which covers the client, as well as covers us as advisors, you know, and the company. So in regards to that, that can play a massive factor in it, because even something simple as email address, you know, non-disclosure of sending the wrong details to the wrong person, it can have a massive implication. So it's not just in regards to the medical, you know, but it's just the whole process in doing the policy during that consultation can have a massive impact, as well as certain advisors who, you know, they actually don't want to because it might go into underwriting and it might not, the process might take a bit longer, and they just want the policy to be set up quickly, where they're not thinking about the client, putting the client first, you know, they're just thinking about themselves, you know. So it's literally just about honesty from both sides, the clients as well as the advisors, you know, because at the end of the day with us, our clients come first regardless, you know. So it's not about anything else but but protecting our clients and their family.
Okay, thank you, Marvin. Tyrell, do you want to add on to anything?
Yeah, just going back on off what everyone said already, judging off of my experience, the main reason most people don't get paid out is from not being honest. So it would be the same thing where a lot of people, they will say, I've stopped smoking. But in order to get paid out, you would have to stop smoking for at least 12 months. Some people might have stopped smoking a month ago. So they're going to try and write that they've stopped smoking. So they're not disclosing everything. Also, I would say health reasons as well. Not disclosing all your health reasons is another big reason why a lot of people don't get paid out. So it's best to just be honest.
Okay. So the reason why people don't get paid out by insurance is just not being honest. So you have to be honest with everything. You have to disclose everything. And especially when it comes to smoking, I know smoking, those insurance people are really, really tough on smokers, but people who lie that they don't smoke and they smoke. So I'd rather insurance tell me that you're going to pay more money than me lying that I'm not smoking and then pay £10. And then when I want to get it, they tell me, sorry, we cannot give you anything because you lied. So guys, the first thing before you take insurance, make sure that you are ready to disclose your medical, to disclose everything that you go through. And also, just as Marvin said, make sure that the person who is advising you regards insurance, they're actually honest and they know what they're talking about.
And they're authorized to sell insurance.
That's right.
And they're authorized to sell insurance. Yeah,
that's right.
Okay, thank you very much. So we now know if you do not disclose everything, you might be there, because I've seen somebody who said she had insurance and she had a son. It was really sad. In fact, two people. She had a son and she didn't say that she drinks. She left that out. So when she died and the insurance was meant to pay her, of course, they go to your GP, just like Martha said, they have to go to your GP first. And then they found out that she was actually drinking, even though she died of cancer, but she was drinking alcohol as well. And because of that, she did not get paid. And the son was meant to get 500,000. So now what will that family say? That family will never take insurance because they will say insurance are liars and they're dodgy, forgetting that it's their own person who did not disclose the fact that she drinks alcohol. And then another one as well, and I think I was talking to Tyrell the other day, it's about insurances that people take in the post office and in the bank, because they do not give you the right advice. So this girl, this woman, she actually died and she was buried in Kenya, and she had Aviva, but she took it from the bank. But they didn't tell her that it was only accidental death. So all those things you really need to check. Remember when Sarah was speaking and she spoke about the form as well. So you need to make sure she only had accidental death, but she died of heart attack. So the family was told, we can't pay you because it was accidental death. So that family as well will never take insurance.
Yeah.
They'll say insurance is dodgy. So you really, really, really need to know what you're signing, because once you sign that form, you can never sue anybody.
That's right.
It's your fault. Yeah. So anybody wants to add anything before we go? Somebody.
Definitely.
Okay.
I was just going to say, a lot of the times as well, it's always good to have, have your insurance done by a professional, okay? Not just someone who just says to you, oh yeah, I work for this company, or I'm on this financial saving program, and all the, there's so many different people who are actually not really certified to be selling insurance. And we've done this for a good few years, and we know how dense some of these forms can be. And you have to really look with a close eye when you're doing your insurance forms. If you mistakenly put no instead of putting yes, that alone could void, somebody's application form, just ticking one wrong box. So a lot of times, even if you get, someone to a second eye over it, for me personally, having it done by a professional is just is your best bet, because they will read that form for you, word for word, and ensure that you're understanding what has been said to you. I mean, a lot of the medical questions on there, they have these really big, long words. People don't even understand what some of them even mean. So even just those things as well, it's important to make sure that you're actually being educated at the same time. Being educated at the same time is definitely, something that will definitely help people out there.
Somebody just asked a question. She said, I have recently taken a pre-arranged and prepaid funeral plan. I was never asked about my health issues. Was this wrong? Can you please advise me? Yeah, can I read that? Yeah, Martha, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, now it depends on who she took the cover from, because, the thing is, sometimes, as you know, you might have some policies which doesn't require underwriting, and it might be that she took accidental under MetLife or under any other accidental plan, and she's been told she's paying for death as well, but then it's only accidental. So obviously they wouldn't seek medical questions at all. It's just accidental, you can give accidental to someone who's got cancer even so.
So if it's accidental death only, there's no point of health questions because it's accident anyway. So is that what you're saying?
We've got few companies like, Shepherds and few others who actually don't go into medical questions. So it depends who she actually took cover, who she took cover from. That's where we can assess if it was right or not. But in general, even if you purchase anything online, you have to go through the medical questions. So it's very rarely she wouldn't have to do it unless it's accidental.
She says she took it with Golden Leaves. Golden Leaves.
So that's the network.
Golden Leaves. And she said it's a funeral plan. So I don't think funeral plan, they ask for medical, do they?
No. They generally don't. With funeral plans, they generally don't ask you about medical, because with funeral plans, it's literally to cover the cost of a funeral when that person dies. So, a lot of the times as well, people who have funeral plans have life insurance. You know, you don't just get funeral plan by itself. You have life insurance to leave a legacy, and then you have the funeral plan that covers your funeral. So obviously with the funeral plan, the main reason why they will not ask you about medical questions and all your health reasons is because the person's already dead and the money is
because you're going to die anyway. Yeah.
Okay, so that's probably why they wouldn't ask.
And the thing as well with this funeral plan is I always tell a lot, especially a lot of our people that are from African descent, some of us want to, when we die, they want to be buried back home, they want to be repatriated. But with funeral plan, it does not repatriate, and that is where people don't get advice when they're going to get funeral plan. And a lot of people have told me, oh, but I have funeral plan and they'll take me to Kenya. And I'm like, no, funeral plan does not repatriate you, and it doesn't give you money either. So can anybody explain to us how funeral plan works? Just funeral plan without insurance? Tyrell, do you know anything about the funeral plan?
And what I would say about the funeral plan, it's more for like older people. So if you've got, like, if you can't get life insurance, so a lot of older people, their premiums are a lot more expensive. So that's who I will normally recommend to get a funeral plan. If you're young, the majority of the time you'll get a good life cover for a lot cheaper than you can get a funeral plan for. So it's more for older people.
Okay, thank
you. I'll just add on to that. So there's a lot of companies who do funeral plans. They have a specific funeral directors that they use. So it's basically just, it basically just pays for the funeral, and they will add extra benefits to do with the funeral only. So if it's in line with leaving a legacy, leaving things for the family, a funeral plan isn't going to do that. That is only going to pay, and it doesn't pay it to the family. It literally pays it to whatever company each funeral, company allocates to do their funerals. You know, so funeral plan, yes, it's definitely something that people should do, but it's only for the funeral. So if you intending on leaving extra and leaving and generational wealth for the family and leaving a legacy, etc., then definitely you need more than a funeral plan. You do need a life cover, etc.
Okay, so thank you very much for that. So moving on, I would like you, Marvin, to tell us more about the life insurance. I know there's different types of life insurance. So can you tell us more about life insurance, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So whole of life, I would say I'll start with. So whole of life is the only guaranteed payment amount. So it's exactly what it says. It's your whole of life. There's no term. There's no age limit, so to speak. You know, so it's literally, you can live up to 100, it will still pay off. And that is the only one that you can say is for funeral cover, you know, so because you can't say a term cover, which the next one is a term cover, which it's normally designed to protect either an asset or loans, etc., which is for a period of time you have to pay it for. So term covers have a specific term or an age. Once you reach that term or age, the policy stops. So, and then you also have family income benefit. That is designed to leave a monthly income to mainly dependents until they're financially independent. You know, so you have whole of life, you have a term cover, and then you have a family income benefit. These are all three separate types of covers, you know, and I'll say each cover is designed for a particular reason. So a lot of people will just get a certain covers, just especially if they're not using a professional advisor, somebody who specializes in this. So they're just given certain covers for other reasons, you know. So each cover is designed for a particular reason, and you have to use the correct cover for whatever reason that client has. And that's why we say when it comes to personal protection, it's very in-depth. You can't, like, for instance, car insurance is one shoe fits all. So you can go to compare the market, you can go online and get any cover. But with this, with personal protection, every single client is different. Some might have children, some might not. some might have mortgages, some might not, you know, so you have to be very specific in what cover you get. And then you also have relevant life. So relevant life is a tax efficient way that a business can actually protect their employees or their key workers, directors, and themselves. And it works out a lot cheaper, relevant life, because it's literally about 50% cheaper, and you can actually claim it back as a business expense. You know, so people with businesses, relevant life is absolutely amazing, you know, and it's literally, it's like it's an employee benefit. And yeah, so that's the main one. So whole of life, family income benefit, term covers, businesses.
Decreasing.
Sorry?
Decreasing. That's what
Yes,
she's
okay.
saying.
Okay, yes, so you can have increasing or decreasing covers. So basically, which is in line with the RPI, so retail price index. So if you want so everybody knows the value of money changes. So a 5K, 10K today is going to be different in a few years' time because RPI goes up. So you can have your cover goes up in line with the RPI. Also, obviously, if you have a decreasing cover, which normally decreasing cover can be used for mortgages and loans, because as you're paying it off, the amount is gonna go down. It's gonna decrease. So you have it in line with a percentage of the mortgage or the loans, and then you have level cover, which obviously stays the same. Yeah, that's about it, to be honest.
Okay, so before I go, I just want to say thank you to the people watching. We have so many people tuned in. Can you please share, guys? Share so everybody can get the knowledge of what we're talking about today. So please, everybody share two groups, one group, share, please. Share, so everybody can get the same knowledge. And that means we're team building. We're building each other. Well, I want to ask you a question, but before I ask you, somebody said, I don't agree with the last statement about older people having a funeral plan. And she said, funeral plan is just to protect my children. Should I die here? I don't want them to go through what we went through when my brother died. I'm in my early 50s. So Tyrell, do you want to rephrase that or how?
No, yeah, what I meant was that for younger people, life insurance will be cheaper than a funeral plan. So the older you get, the more the premiums go up or tend to go up. So for somebody that has a funeral plan and they're maybe age 50 or 60, it will probably be cheaper than getting a life insurance, especially if they have existing medical conditions as well. So there's nothing wrong with having a funeral plan.
Okay, but it's more of, because if you're younger, then you can get a better deal. You can get a big lump sum of probably 500K and pay less. Because with insurance, we all know that the older you are, the more you pay.
Yep.
Yeah? Okay, thank you. I wanted to ask you, Marvin, regards this life insurance, because even just today, I met one client who was actually arguing with me, telling me, yeah, I have life insurance for life. And what people don't realize that life insurance is not for life. It's for your life. So there's a difference. Life insurance is for your life, is not for life. So those two are different things, which I think a lot of people don't realize that, because once they get life insurance, they just say, I have life insurance. They forget the term, because I know you explained about the term. Nobody talks about the term. They just say, I have life insurance. But they forget that life insurance can be for 20 years, 25 years, or 30 years. And if those years finish, that means you're not insured anymore.
That's right.
Exactly. I'm so glad you brought that up. So basically, a lot of, when I speak to people, my first question is obviously, are you protected and do you have life insurance? And a lot of people will say, yes, they do. And my second question is, do you know the term of your cover? And a lot of people don't know. You know, and they just assume, because it says, and so many people have said it, because it says life insurance, it means it's for their life, regardless. They don't know anything about term. They don't understand it, you know, and I blame that on, to be honest, I blame that on wherever or whoever they got it with. Because when I do a consultation, I'm explaining to you what each cover does, so that it's more of a tutorial, Sarah said. You understand? So that you know exactly what you're getting. You
right.
actually can leave the consultation with more knowledge, you know. So it's a life-changing experience. So a lot of people, they don't understand. So basically the term covers, as I said before, they're designed to protect an asset or a loan for a period of time. But a lot of people now so if you go with a bank, that's what they're gonna give you, because that's what they normally do in regards to mortgages. So they're giving you what you would normally use for a mortgage to protect your life. And that's why you could never say that term cover is to cover funeral cost. Because if that term cover goes to retirement age of 65, 68, whatever it is, you can't say that's for funeral costs, because that means you're gambling with your life and you're saying you're going to pass away before 65 or 68, because that policy stops at that age. You go past that age, it's going to be, you're not going to get a payout. All the money you paid for, you're not going to get a penny. The family's not going to get a penny, you know? So, and to get a policy at that age is going to be a lot more expensive. So it's literally, there's certain things people are not aware of. Whilst with an advisor, we can add extra benefits where that policy doesn't stop. That policy can continue, you know, and we can, there's so many things as advisors that we can put in your policy to protect you, to give you that longevity, you know, give you that extra benefits that your family can have. It's not just you as a client reap the benefit, and it's not certain benefits you can even use before you pass away, which the life insurance does. You know, which your family can use. A lot of people think, it's just because the policy's for them, that means it's only literally benefits them. But there's certain providers that we have as advisors that we can put in place that will give you extra benefits for the whole of your family, everybody that you live with. You know, so it's you have to speak to us and speak to an advisor, to be honest.
Okay, so I just want to put your name down here, Marvin. So I say for life insurance clarification, because I'm just going to put it on my Facebook here. So for life insurance clarification, please call Marvin. So can you just help me with your number? I know I have it, but now it's not in my head.
Yeah, no problem. 07575.
07575, yeah.
631.
631.
831.
831. So anybody who wants to talk to Marvin more, to clarify more about insurance and the term and all this whole of life, please, you can contact Marvin, and he will talk to you more. I say she because I'm a she and I love she, so I'm a she.
You can call me she if you want, I don't mind.
I'm a she. Okay, then. Now we're going to process to Sarah. We're going to go to Sarah. Sarah is going to talk to us about different products. So when it comes to things like insurance, there is so many products. There's so many things. You can't just come and say, I want insurance. Yeah, what insurance? For what purpose? Okay. So now we've heard about life insurance, which, to be honest, is so complicated for people who don't know. It is really complicated, because even me, I know about insurance, but in my head, it's still complicated. So, but we're now going to talk to Sarah, who is also going to talk to us about a service called critical illness. Thank you, Sarah.
Right. Thank you, Marvin. That was on point. That was really, really, really good. Okay, so critical illness cover. I mean, I think that's probably one of the insurances that a lot of people maybe overlook, critical illness cover. And one thing I always tell my clients, I always say, majority of people, before they die, they get sick, okay? Most people get sick before they die. Now, when an illness comes upon somebody, let's just to say cancer, for instance, or a stroke, we know how terminal and how detrimental these things are to families and the individual that is facing this particular situation. Now, if someone doesn't have critical illness cover and they find themselves in a place where, life's brought these, life comes with many different challenges, okay? And nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. So that's one thing I always say to people. You have to cover yourself, cover every angle is what I always say. I always advise people, yes, have life, have critical illness cover, because even before, you think of something like someone just crossing the road and getting hit by a bus, that was a straight death. Life insurance is going to pay out on that instantly. As long as that form and everything was filled out properly, that's an instant payout. That person's gone. However, a critical illness or a terminal illness, these are the things that a lot of people don't tend to think is going to happen to them, or, you know, they might just even not even take stock to think about it, because life is so busy and people just keep moving and keep going and keep going. And then one day they go to the doctor and they get a terrible report. And this report might turn around and say, Mrs. So-and-so, I'm sorry to tell you, but you've got 6 months to live. And at that point, what happens? And this particular person might have a family, they might have people that are relying on them. They have to stop work. The mortgage needs to be paid, rent needs to be paid. Things still need to keep going. Life still goes on, regardless of what is happening to an individual. And this is something that I always press. Regardless of what you think is happening, life will always go on, right? So critical illness is to cover yourself, your loved one, from any major illness that might come upon. I've got a few statistics here. It says every 2 minutes, someone is diagnosed with cancer. So if that's every 2 minutes and there's X amount of million of people, just in the UK alone, we're not talking worldwide. We're talking in the UK alone, every 2 minutes, someone is diagnosed with cancer. Now, if you know cancer is a very mean illness, and it comes in many different forms. So it didn't say every 2 minutes someone's diagnosed with breast cancer. Every 2 minutes someone's just diagnosed with cancer, regardless of what that cancer may be. Also, every 7 minutes someone has a heart attack. Now, you might be watching this and going, Sarah, but I don't know anyone who's died of cancer. I don't know anyone who's had a heart attack. Every 7 minutes, someone in the UK is having a heart attack. And every 12 minutes here in the UK, someone has a stroke. Now, these 3 illnesses that I've just mentioned, these are classed as critical, serious illnesses, okay? And that's just to name a few. Those are just 3. Now, critical illness is there to pay a lump sum of money, whether it be a monthly lump sum or just a yearly lump sum, or just a lump sum. So let's just say my neighbor took out critical illness with me and I insured her for £50,000. When we're going through that form, she has the option to say, Sarah, give that to me in drips every month, or I want it all in one go. If she finds that she has cancer, she wants to go to Barbados for 6 months, she can do that, right? So, but these are the benefits that you will have when you have critical illness cover. Now, there's a long list. There is a long list of illnesses that is covered, but the main illnesses that critical illness covers are cancer, most cancers, heart attack, stroke, multiple sclerosis, and there are many other conditions, okay? Now, if I was to sit down here and start going through all the conditions, Lydia will be looking at me going, girl, come on, So I can't just sit here and wheel out everything. But if you have a family, if you run a business, if you have a mortgage, even if you're caring for someone, if you have people that are dependent on you, critical illness is something that you cannot not have, if that makes sense, okay? Now, you might be asking, okay, well, like, how much is critical illness cover or something? It depends. Again, it depends on you. It depends on your circumstances. It depends on your medical history. And, a lot of times people, Lydia, it's funny because a lot of the times people attach insurance with age. Yeah. They say, oh, I'm 30. I don't want to think about that right now. Oh, I'm 29. I don't know, 18. I don't want to think about that. I think it was Marvin who said it earlier. He said, oh no, it was Tyrell. He said that insurance is cheaper when you're younger. Okay. It is cheaper when you're younger. It's also, critical illness is cheaper when you're healthier. Okay. Yeah. If you're healthy, there's nothing wrong with you. Yes, okay, you could be 45, I don't know, however old you could be, but it's always cheaper, the younger sometimes, but the healthier you are with critical illness, okay? So it's not when you it's not when you get a negative report from the doctor that you run and realize, oh my gosh, I haven't put my critical illness in place. You can still do it, okay, you can. However, it's always best to do it when you're at your healthiest, you're at your strongest, you're at your best, okay? So those are, that's what I would say about critical illness cover. I mean, it's funny because if you was told, okay, all of you watching, if you was told that you had a serious illness, just stop and think for a minute. What would your family do? What would your family do? We spoke earlier about how work would pay. Lydia mentioned work paying, what's that, government sick pay, £98 or something like that a week. Who's that going to feed? What bills is that going to pay? But when you implement,
you've lost your job because you're sick already, and then your loved one wants to be with you. They don't want to leave you at home, lying there, you know, ill. They want to spend time with you, and if they can't because financially they don't have that financial pillow, they can.
Exactly.
That's what breaks the family. It's not only your health which is affected, then it's the whole family and, you know, the well-being.
Exactly. Thank you, Martha.
Yeah,
you know,
and it also covers the children as well.
That's right. I was just about to get to that. Thank you, Marvin. I was just about to get to that. And obviously, you know, when we think about our insurance packages, we think for those signing, we think, okay, I'm the one signing, I'm the one paying, this covers me. Now, a lot of providers that we deal with cover your children as well. You know, I've got 4 children. All my children are covered under my critical illness policy. If I have another one, that one's also covered. And another one, I won't have that many, you know, but I'm just, you know, every child is covered under your critical illness policy. Now, obviously, I mean, there are different levels. Okay, so you have critical illness, and then you have critical illness select, and that one comes with a bit more benefits, and it's, you know, you pay a little bit extra for that one, but it's a brilliant product. It's absolutely amazing. And you know, if you have critical illness on your policy, it will cover your child from birth. Okay, right up to the age of 21 with some companies, and some companies will take them right up until 22. Also, one thing I always tell my clients when they take out critical illness is to remember something, okay? If somebody had critical illness and their child was to pass away, they would pay out £5,000 for the death of that child. Most companies will do that. Okay. Also, if a woman has a miscarriage, this is something a lot of people don't know. And it's funny because some of you watching right now, you know, might have critical illness cover, and, you know, you could have lost the baby 24, 28, 30 weeks. Your critical illness package would have paid you out for that £5,000 for the death of that child. And these are the small details. A lot of people do not know. And again, you know, we asked that question. Lydia asked that question earlier when she said, why do people think insurance doesn't pay out? And most of what we said was knowledge. It's about what you know. And, you know, I've had clients that, you know, and they said, oh, Sarah, this has happened. And have you read your package? Have you read what came through the post? Have you looked at the small print? Things like that. You know, you get it through the post, and it's just there until something happens. But knowledge is very important when you're working and dealing with insurance. It's always good to know. Okay.
And Sarah, someone asked a question here as well. What do you term by critical illness?
Okay.
And do you take this when you are critically ill or before?
Right. So thank you very much for asking that question. Now, it's always best to take critical illness out before an illness occurs, okay? Before an illness occurs, you take out your critical illness. Now, critical illness covers a very long list of things. It covers all the major cancers. It covers spinal defibia. It covers Parkinson's disease. It covers strokes. It covers, the list is very, very, very long. If you want to know exactly what it covers, you know, feel free to get in contact with me, and I'll be able to take you through the process of exactly what it is that you will get if you were to have critical illness. Now, one thing I always say is when we're dealing with insurance, what I found with people who have not come to a good understanding of it is that when something happens, they're quick to cancel. The first thing they go, oh, yeah, let me cancel that critical illness. Let me cancel that life policy. But you don't know what's going to happen the day after. You never know what's going to happen the following day. So for me, it's always important, because if you know what it is that you have, if you understand what it is that you have, you will sort of have an appreciation for it, is the word I'm looking for. You will have an appreciation for these products. Okay. So like I said, I could go on and on and on and on.
I know. And I also want to say, I know you did mention something here, Sarah, but I'm not saying this so you start talking again, but I'm just saying that it's been statistically proven that even within 20 years, span of 20 years, if you have life insurance and you have critical illness as well, you're more likely to claim on critical illness than death, because you're more likely to be critically ill than to die within the span of 20 years.
Yeah.
So for clarification, again, I'm going to put that down there. For clarification of critical illness, please contact Sarah on, what's your number? 07.
My telephone number, guys, is 07572 008.
Wait, I'm writing it down. So
how are you?
Okay. So,
it's 07572 008.
Yeah.
675.
675.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 07572008675. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Okay. So anybody who has more questions regarding critical illness, they can always contact you. Now we're moving on. So I want to go to Tyrell now. And Tyrell is going to talk to us about income protection. Why is it that income protection is very important for us to have?
First, I'm going to start by explaining what income protection is. So income protection cover, it was designed to cover you in the event of being struck with an illness, an injury, or any other health reason. So if you can't work due to any sort of sickness, injury, as long as you've got a note from the GP to say you're unable to work, then you can claim for your income protection. So it's mainly designed to just cover your expenses and it covers your income. In the event of not being able to work, it's used to substitute your income.
Okay, so does it cover, can it cover somebody because they are fired, made redundant, or they've lost their jobs?
Now that's an important question, because a lot of people, especially with Corona, they've been scrambling to get income protection. And the reason why they're scrambling is because they think it covers unemployment or redundancy cover. Income protection, it only covers you if you can't work due to a sickness, injury, or any other health reasons. So it doesn't cover you if you've been made redundant.
So if you are isolating, for example, because of you've been, there was suspicion of you having the COVID, for example, then you cannot claim on your insurance, or you can, because that's the questions a lot of clients ask. If you are actually sent to self-isolate, but you haven't been diagnosed with anything, would the insurance company cover that period of 14 days self-isolation?
No, I don't believe they'll cover that. They wouldn't cover it.
Okay, so they don't cover COVID.
You have to have a sick note. So if you've got a sick note and you've been signed off of work due to a sickness or injury. So if you've been diagnosed with COVID, some of the insurers cover COVID. Not all of them cover it. So if you've been diagnosed with it and you've been off of work for more than the deferred period,
COVID, and then obviously the whole company is self-isolating because someone had it already, you haven't been diagnosed with one, would my income protection cover that self-isolation without being diagnosed?
No, not if you're not diagnosed.
Yeah, because one of my clients, he's with Aviva actually. He was with Aviva, and he just called Aviva and said he had Corona or COVID. He had COVID, and they did not ask for any proof. They didn't say, oh, we need a letter from the doctor or anything, but he had living cost. So they paid him for 2 months, but they told him after 2 months, if you still can't go to work because you're sick, then you need a letter from your GP. But for the 2 months that he was at home, he just told Aviva that he had COVID, and they just paid him for 2 months. They did not ask any questions. So, and that is just Aviva. So it's different companies again, just like you said, they have different procedures in place.
Can I just add, I'm not sure if anyone said this already, but if you have income protection pre-corona, then you're good. You know, people that had most of these policies before corona came in, you know, a lot of you are very secure with what you have, because now, you know, COVID is part of the questions that we ask now. Do you have a cough? Are you sneezing? Are you self-isolating? All these questions come up now. You know, and again, that's why it's very important to not delay on getting these things put in place in your life. I just thought I'd add that.
No, definitely. It's what's the saying? It's better to have it 10 years too early than 1 minute too late.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I love that.
That's so powerful.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's so powerful. Definitely. And in regards to what Tyrell was saying with the income protection, it is, as you said, Lydia, critical illness is more claimed on than the life. And then income protection is more claimed on than the critical or the life. You know, so it's literally like, for me personally, like a lot of people, insurance doesn't pay. Within 6 months of having full cover, life, critical, and income protection, I claimed on my income protection. I'm not one of those people that's always sick. You know, it was a freak accident, almost broke my ankle, and I got a payout. For 2-3 months, I got a full payout. You know, so they want to pay. You know, so it's I'm telling you, like, the income protection is life changing, because it literally gives you a cushioning for your lifestyle. Without that cushioning, you go to charity level. You know, where you have to now ask people for help, because a lot of people can't rely on statutory sick pay. That literally pays for a phone bill. You know, so yeah.
So going back to Tyrell with the income protection, so how does it work? How does this income protection work, Tyrell?
So yeah, it's more or less just cover. It's designed to cover your outgoing. So if you're off of work due to a sickness or injury, your mortgage, your rent, food, everything you still need to buy these things. However, if you don't have the income protection, and especially if you're self-employed, if you don't have the income protection, all you're entitled to is the SSP, which is £94.25 a week. Hardly anybody can live on that. So for example, the income protection wouldn't cover the full amount of your earnings, because they don't want you to be better off or just as comfortable as working. So they do want you to go back to work. So it will cover a percentage of your earnings, where you can still maintain your day-to-day living. If you're off work due to a sickness or injury, you can still live.
So how many percentage do they actually cover of your income?
I mean, it covers up to like 75%.
Okay.
So sorry, Lydia. Say it.
No, I just wanted to ask, is that with all companies, or does it differ with different companies?
Yeah, it differs with different companies.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Can you tell us about, because talking about income protection, I'm thinking about fracture cover as well, because it's like they intertwine together. So can you tell us more about fracture? Because I know there's fracture cover as well.
Okay, so that's a good point about going with an advisor, because an advisor, because a lot of the times you get extra benefits, or we can include extra benefits like hospitalization cover. So if you was ever in hospital for more than 6 days, you can start getting, I think it's £100 a night you can get up to £100 a night for a sufficient period. Also, the fracture cover is an extra £4 with most providers, and that will pay you out if you break a leg, break a bone in your body. You can get paid out. The prices vary. So, for example, it could be between 2,000 and I think the highest is up to 6,000 you can claim, depending on what the injury is. And it usually, if you was to break like obviously your wrist and your leg, it will usually just pay out the highest part.
So would you say it's very important to have income protection in fracture, really?
Yeah, it's definitely very important.
Some income protection come with the fracture already in it, like Liverpool Victoria, you know?
Okay, it comes
some of them come,
yeah. And somebody have said here, A lot of companies were not taking on new clients for income protection when the pandemic began. Has it changed? And is it being offered now? So that question is to Tyrell regards the income protection.
Yeah, it's definitely calmed down and it's been offered now. It's mainly the redundancy cover that stopped. So a lot of people that during the pandemic that wanted to get the redundancy cover and the unemployment cover, that was more or less seized for a period. So you couldn't get that, but the income protection, everything's gone back to normal. So yeah, you can claim.
So someone can actually now get income protection if they wanted to, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
It's more about
Okay.
Within the pandemic. It's about it's more about, you know, before you could take your cover from week one even, but now most of the companies, majority of the companies, they offer you cover from week 4 or 8, because they know if you self-isolate for 14 days, then obviously they don't want to cover people for this. So they offer income protection from 4 or 8 weeks, some of the companies even from 18. So I think that's the major problem with the providers, because they've never stopped offering the covers really. They just prolong the
deferred period.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's a very important point in regards to the deferred period.
Yeah.
So there's a period of time that a client is eligible to claim, which is the deferred period, you know, which a lot of the time it coincides. If they're employed, you already get sick pay, you know. So once that sick pay stops, then instead of you having to claim on statutory sick pay, then the income protection will kick in once the sick pay finishes. Obviously, people who are self-employed don't have any sick pay, so that's completely different. But in regards to the coronavirus, if the deferred period is less than 4 weeks, so if it's day one, cover day one, or 2 weeks, it doesn't cover for coronavirus with certain providers.
Yeah. Also, Lydia, if it's okay, if I just quickly add something on the income protection. With income protection, if you play any kind of sport, okay, it's very important that you have this. If you work a job, but you play some kind of sport, you know, let's say you're into football, motorbike racing, you could be doing any particular sport, as long as it's not your profession, okay, then having income protection is very important, because like Tyrell was saying earlier, with the fracture cover, let's just say you're playing football, or, you know, and with income protection, this doesn't have anything to do with age, okay? Because from the time you're 16, you can begin to claim for income protection as long as you're working a certain amount of hours a week, okay? 18, sorry. You know, so a lot of you watching, you might have sons, you might have daughters who are, you know, they're still young and very active individuals, and they work a job. Now, they obviously have their own bills to pay and things like that. So it's also important to remember that we shouldn't attach what we're talking about here with age, gender, or anything like that. These are standalone products that individuals should have, you know, because we are living and breathing, working people. So the reason why I bring up the sports one is because if you play in any particular activity that is outside of your work, and you injure yourself and you cannot work for a certain period of time, income protection covers you. It covers you for that, okay? If you go mountain climbing, if you go, remember this, as long as it's not your profession, this sport that I'm talking about, as long as it's not a paid profession, then you can actually take income protection out for your normal job. And if you was out bike riding and you fell off the bike and broke your ankle and you couldn't go to work for 3.5 months, income protection is going to cover you for that, okay? So these are also things that, you know, we have to remember, that it's not just if I fall off a ladder at work, I'm covered. No, if you fall off off the roof while doing something at home, accidental cover, whatever it may be, you're also covered for that, okay? So just do remember that it's not just work-related sicknesses that income protection covers. So I just thought I'd add that.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to write here, for income protection clarification, please contact Tyrell. So Tyrell, what's your number?
073 878 67898.
Okay, let me just repeat that. 0738 7867 898, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so I'll put that there. So that's fine. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now we are going to the topic that I know a lot of our community don't like hearing it. Will. They don't like hearing will, because every time they hear will, they think, oh my God, you know those, nowadays, those, is it 4 men or 3 men that I always, they put the coffin every time someone, it's not funny, but somebody put it on Donald Trump and say that those people are coming for him, but that's not funny.
I saw that.
You saw that, innit? So every time we talk about will, in our community, and when I say community, our community, I mean a Black community in general.
Yes.
But not all of them, but most of us, we don't like hearing about will, because they always think that if you talk about will, that means someone is going to die. But I keep on saying that it's not someone is going to die, it's putting your house in order. That's all it is.
That's right.
So today we have an expert who is going to talk to us about the importance of having a will and testament. Thank you, Martha.
Thank you very much, Lydia. To start with, what is the testament? People, as you said, most of the people think we are not dying. Why would you need a testament? Why would we even go into thinking that way? It will bring bad energy. But in fact, it's not bad energy. It's just securing yourself, your children, your family, not only via financial security, is also because of the guardianship, because the will, it's not only to a document that you use to describe how you would like your property and possessions divided after your death. It's also to name a guardians for any of your children who are either under 18. And that's the major thing, I believe, for us foreigners in UK, which we need to look after, because on the end of the day, money is money, it can come and go. But your children, they have to be secured. You have to make sure that your children, after your death, will go to the designed person, to the appointed person who you wish them to go. It's not about, under UK law, if, let's say I'm Polish, we came here with children. Now, because of my children were, they were raised here, they went to school, they've got friends, they've got everything they know is here from UK. And now someone from abroad will come and claim my children just because they are grandma or grandpa. They might not know the person even, but because of the law, they want to claim them. So what happens if there is no testament and last will? Then obviously UK system absorbs the children. It absorbs and take full right and guardianship of those children, and no grandma, no grandpa, sister or mother would be able to get that children without the probate court, which will take from 6 to 18 months. And so let's go to the estates first, because we said we can cover the estates, we can cover the guardianships of the children. What can you actually put into the will? It's your home, whatever you want to do with it after your, after your death. It's automobiles, it's bank buildings, society accounts, it's national savings, investments, it's life insurance policies. And now when we come to life insurance policies, this is very important, because many people ask me sometimes, does my life insurance form part of my estates? And now life insurance payouts will form part of your estate unless they're written in trust. So now let's say we've got the life insurance, but there was no trust, but we've got the testament. So that life insurance will have to go to court anyway to be delivered to the beneficiaries. But if you put it into the trust, it's always a good idea, because if your life insurance pays out, go into a trust rather than a beneficiary, because such a payout will not be assessed as part of your estate for inheritance tax purposes. So it's always, because people usually ask, what's the difference? Okay, if I put my policy in trust, why would I need to put that into my will? And the other way around, if I put my life insurance into the will, why would I have to place it into the trust? If you place it into the trust, then the money will go straight to the beneficiaries. If you don't, it will have to go through the court when the will is validated. So it will take, again, long time. Obviously, people will get the money, but it will take time again. So it's always good to put your policies into the trust. Apart from that, you can place in your will your stock and shares, unit trust investment, premium savings bonds, furniture, interest in other people's estates, property, and banks accounts abroad. That's what people ask as well, if they can include my abroad properties, my accounts which are placed in other countries. Yes, they can.
Oh, so you can actually write a will here. Let's say I have properties in Kenya.
Yes.
I can write my will here and include my properties in Kenya.
You can, because anyway, you have to remember it always goes to court anyway. So, you know, last will and testament, now that the term is joined, but back in the days, it was only the will. It wasn't saying the testament. Will is because of our estates, and the testament is because it's like our wishes. So now it's different, because will goes to court, testament is your wishes which people have to obey. So it's a little bit, you know, it's different. But yes, you can include anything you want to add there, you know. So children, it is mainly to cover the children. If you have minor age children at home, it is important to have a will that appoints a guardianship of your children. If a guardian is not appointed at the time of your death, your surviving family will have to seek help in a probate court to have a guardian appointed for your children. The person might be not the person who, you know, not entrusted person with your kids. And that's the major problem with the wills and testament. People think they don't need it, but they actually do. Every single person who's got kids in this country, they need to have a will. You should also consider how you will pass a portion of your estate to your minor child through a will, because if they're underage, obviously, if you want to leave some inheritance for them, then it has to be written in that will. You know, you can address how and what do you want to leave them. And now, while children, natural or adopted, have a statutory right to inherit, because that's normal, a will allows you to disinherit children. You can actually disinherit a child or your spouse or whoever you want to. So if you don't have legal documents saying your
husband or wife,
your assets are not divided, then you can do it through your will, saying, look, I don't want my husband to inherit anything because this and that. Or I don't want children. You have to disclose every single child in the will, but then you have to say what happens to the child, if you want them be included or not as a part of distribution of your assets on the end of the day, because they've got legal right to your assets. So
okay, so you have to put let's say you have 10 children, example, and you have to put all the 10 children, but you also have to indicate what you want each child to have. And if you don't want any child to have something, you can say, well, I don't want child A and B to have anything, but they have to be there regardless.
That's true. They have to be in the will, because you know, you don't want the scenario where you died and you have 5 children. One of them is really nasty child who's been always a black sheep in the family, and you don't want that child. You haven't even seen that child for years, and now you know those 4 children were looking after you on your deathbed. They've been always there. They've been there for you, and then on the end of the day, they don't get what they should be getting because that 5th child turned up saying, "Oh, come on, I've got the right. It's my mom. It doesn't matter if you know." And the court would not know what happened. And those, you know, so it's just to prevent such a situation and to clarify and make it transparent who is who and who needs what. And now, what should we consider when appointing a guardian for our children? First of all, we should we need to consider if the proposed guardian will be old enough to look after our children, because we don't want anyone who is 60 to look after the children and die after 5 years, you know, leaving them alone again. Does my proposed guardian have experience raising the children? This is more or less important, but we have to always consider if they would manage, if they are able to do such a thing. Is my proposed guardian concerned about my children's welfare? This is very important. Would they keep up with the books? Would they keep up with the school? Would they sacrifice part of their life to actually look after your child? Is my proposed guardian able to care for my child emotionally, physically, and financially? So would they be able to provide for them? In that case, we can't leave a child to someone who, you know, is not working, who doesn't have facilities for the child. Obviously, if you leave some inheritance, some money for the guardians in your will, then obviously it's a different story, right? Because you can say, okay, along with my child, I'm leaving to the guardian of my child I appointed, I leave, I don't know, 20,000 out of my account to, you know, to keep the money. Raise the child, to keep the money up.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll be happy. They'll be happy if you leave something for them.
Of course.
Exactly.
They'll be happy.
Does the proposed guardian have the time? This is very important. You can't, like,
that's true. That's true.
Running around and, you know, where does my proposed guardian reside? And now, this is very important part, because if you appoint someone, let's say Lydia from Kenya, now you've got children, you're a single mom, you've got your children with you. You didn't came long time ago, 2 years, so they still know the family there and they love their family. And now you didn't leave your testament. What happened? Obviously, UK takes the children, that's it, end of story. But let's say you've left your testament out there saying, I want my sister from Kenya to look after the child. So what will happen then? Obviously, they will assess the testament. They will say, okay, she can do it unless she can prove, no, maybe the other way around, unless the child can prove it would be comfortable in the Kenya, for example. If not, your sister will have to commit to live in UK. So this is how it works. Usually
they'll love that. They'll love that.
Usually when something like this happens, is what happens with families, what they choose to do with foreign families, they appoint someone like, let's say your sister will come over, she will be here for 2 months, and then they will take the child pretending they stay with the child in UK. So that will avoid all this process, the procedures and everything, you know, of checking. Because if you even if you adopt the dog in UK, you have to go and visit the house for 5 times, you know, before they give you the dog. It's the same with the child. If the child needs to be given to someone, they'll have to assess it. So they will have to assess Kenya in that case.
Yeah.
So the best option in that scenario is to come over to UK and just stay there or pretend or whatever, just commit, they're gonna stay.
Right.
This is, when it comes to guardians, this is really it. You have to consider all those things just for your child, you know. It's very important, like, it's very important you don't really appoint anyone who is not suitable.
Yeah, just to appoint anyone for the sake of appointing. That person has to be fit to look after your children.
Yes.
Yeah, just to carry on what Marta said, which is absolutely amazing. It's just the same in regards to life insurance, where we always advise to review it regularly. You know, it's the same way people need to, because there's some people who already have a will, but they don't review it regularly. So for instance, if you've separated from a husband, you know, and you don't update your will, then that husband is going to have a right, you know.
Then
so that's something which
to your money.
That will be valid and is revoked at the moment when you split up, if you do the joint will, because obviously I was going to that point, but you can make few types of wills. You can do single wills, like 2 people do single wills, or you can have a joint will. If you have a joint one, then if you split, then it's revoked and it needs to be done again. One, 2 singles. You can't just, you know, adapt and mess up your will. You have to do 2 different separate wills if you split with the person you've had joint one. Because obviously the properties, in UK it's different. In Poland, for example, you've got that document saying, oh, we've got 2 different households with 2 different, you know, assets. But here in the UK, obviously you have to go joint or single, that's it. There's no other way out. So you cannot amend it. You have to write a new one, always. Every change, you need to make the new one. You cannot just amend the will because it's already been signed by the witnesses. So there is no way you can actually amend something And so that's why, you know, many people think they can do it, but no, they can't. So what?
Sorry, Martha. So somebody just asked a question. They say, when is someone have to write a will? When do someone have to write a will? Is it immediately you take the insurance or later?
So a will, it's important to have to control where your money and property will go after you pass away. So it's not like when you have to have it. It's good to have it as soon as possible, which means if you have a child and now you are aware what happens to your child, that means you need a will now, regardless if you have it or not. Because life insurance would be placed into the trust, so it can be taken after the will. The will doesn't have to be amended because you don't have to include your life insurance in the will. And sometimes it's better not to put your life insurance into the will, because if you actually cancel your life insurance, then the will, you know, it's canceled as well, because that, you know, you cannot amend the will. So now in that scenario, it's best to take the will straight away now as we speak, if you have children, because that's mostly to cover your children. Your asset, that's fine, that can come and go, as we said. You know, it's just money. You wouldn't take it to the grave, but how would you sleep in that grave knowing your child is with someone?
So, so Martha, you know what people confuse as well, because now that you're talking, even me now, I'm being enlightened a little bit. You don't need to have assets and money and this to have a will. Because some people always think, some people say, but why am I writing a will? I have nothing. I have nothing to leave for my children. But it's not about the wealth and the property. That's not why you should have a will. Can you just clarify that?
Close to the, like, you know, if you have big assets, then fine, you can put it into the will, you know, if you have like 5 houses and everything else. But to be honest, last will and testament, when it comes to foreigners, is most because of the children.
Okay.
Of the children. Do we care about our motorbikes? Do we care about, you know, about your jewelry in your drawer? No, not really, because your husband, your sister, or whoever is there will come and pick it up on the end of the day. Even if they have to go to court to, you know, to get your estate in the legal way, then they will do it. It will take just a bit longer. But it's not the material things we are caring about here. We are talking about real life with the children. It's the little babies we've raised, you know, they loved us, they've been with us. We need to make them secure. We need to secure them. We need to make them feel they are, you know, like, we have to make sure they are there where they should be, you know.
And you know,
I will bring the example. Polish family, 3 children, they went to Asda. They dropped kids at school. They went to Asda. Lorry driver slept on the road. Car smashed. Both dead. What happened? Those 3 children are with the gay couple in Coventry. And now, mother of those, grandma of those children, it's 3 years now. They're trying to get children back. 3 years. Because there was no testament. So if anyone feels they want to secure children and be sure that those, you know, imagine these children, they've lost parents, how bad that was, what a trauma they've had already. And then with strangers, you know, and then how sure you are they wouldn't split the siblings, you know, they would. Almost.
Wow, that is important.
You know, it's a great, you know, Martha, I'm so glad you brought that, because it's such a bit, what you're talking about is a massive revelation, I really think, for a lot of people watching this today. And, you know, it just shows you the misconception of wills and testaments, of how it has been portrayed over the years. It has been portrayed as something that is for the wealthy, it's for people with assets, it's for the business owners, it's for the people on the top of the food chain. Whereas you've just really brought it down to earth for everybody. You've made it realistic for the layman, as they would say. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not just for those with big pockets anymore. A will can be for absolutely anyone, down to parents. You could live, from what Martha's just said, in my understanding, is you could live in a council house, be on benefits, and still have a will. Why? Because you don't want the system taking your children when that time comes. I mean, for me, it's a massive revelation, just the way you've put it, the way you've dropped it so simply, well understood. And, you know, for everyone watching right now, I would just say, you know, this is why we do what we do, because information like this, as they say, is hidden. It's hidden in textbooks. It's hidden under paperwork. It's hidden in massive files that we have to read. You know, not you. We have to read these files. So, you know, just understanding the fact that, okay, I might not have anything, but I've got 3, 4, 5, 2 wonderful children that if I'm not here, I want my mum to have it. I want Auntie Lucy to have them. I want, you know, so-and-so. That in itself is something, I mean, it's the least we can do as human beings that parent children, you know. So thank you so much. A massive revelation you just shared there, Martha. Absolutely. Thank you.
You actually, you know, because sometimes people don't know. And now imagine how many times we actually trying to enlighten people in regards to life insurance. We are saying like, look, if you've got the accident and then you've got that nice, beautiful car and your husband drive that car, you know, you have insured your car, you didn't insure your husband. On the end of the day, that car would go to the garage. You will see next morning that beautiful car outside your window, all polished, all nice, but without your husband. And then now we are saying all this to the clients, not realizing one thing. Who cares about the money on the end of the day? It's about the children, because that car, you can have money, you know, to live on because your husband's dead. But then what happens with your children? No one ever consider this part, you know? So that's when we come with the last will and testament, and what we say, like, Lydia, I know you're gonna go with the numbers and stuff on the end of the story, but what we need to stress out to our clients, when you take your life insurance, Lydia, you've got capability now, and all of us have, to do your will with your life insurance straight away. And if anyone takes life insurance with any of you, then they will have it for free. Normally it costs between 150 to 500 pounds, but because you care about your clients, because we want to do it complex, that's why you cover the cost and give it to your clients for free. And that's very important to stress out as well. If we are.
Wow, thank you for that.
I just want to add to what everybody's saying, especially what Martha's just said. Because of the industry we're in, we see how it affects families and it affects people in regards to not having the appropriate cover, either will or having life insurance. So a lot of people tend to think it's just a job for us. But we're very passionate in regards to what we do, because we see the other side. We see when children lose parents, and now they're struggling because the parent cancelled their policy, you know. And then we see the other side where, in fact, it was last year a client got diagnosed with cancer in June, and by October she passed away. But because she had the life and critical, the children, as bad as that situation is for the 4 children she left, but they had 2 payouts, the life and the critical. And you know, so imagine having to deal with the loss of losing a loved one as well as financial difficulties. That's life changing, and they will never forget it. So when we are actually calling people, and we will call again, it's not because it's got nothing to do with us. You need us more than we need you, because at the end of the day, we're protecting not just you but your family and
your children.
See, you know, your children. We see how people struggle, you know, hence why we're gonna go the extra mile to make sure you're protected, you know. So it's something that absolutely everybody needs.
And somebody asked before I read this question, I just say, for more clarification regards will and testament, please contact Martha. Can you give me your number, please? It's 07
077 958 70337.
Okay, I'll just repeat that. 077 958 70337, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And also for everybody who is, all the viewers today, Martha, I've just given us something, and she said, if you take insurance today with any of us here, and you say that your reference is you saw this show today, she's going to give you free will. Wills are always from 150 to 300 to 500 pounds.
500.
From 150 to 500, but that will be given to you for free. So we are going to do you a will and testament for free, only if you're watching this show, okay? And somebody also said here, Martha, she said, I think it's after you said you were talking about if you're in Kenya or something, you've somebody to look after their children. A lady said that has always been a question I do frequently ask myself about children. What will happen to my children? So if the only person I have who can take care of my children, if I'm gone, is in Kenya, they will be allowed to come and live with them here in the UK.
So now, the answer to this is usually what we do, because we don't want that gap between, let's say, like this couple from Asda, right? As I've been mentioning before. Let's say now they're dead, someone has to pick them up from school, right? And now what happens? That person is in Kenya before they get visa, before they can get to the country. What happens? Would social services take my children up to that moment? How would I get it back after? No. So what we do in the will, we appoint someone who will actually keep the children with them up until the legal guardian arrives. You know, when you've got the fact find for the will, the one I sent to the clients, it says, who do you want to keep the children up until the legal guardian arrives? Obviously, it's the same with Poland, with any other country. Someone has to be with these children up until that person arrives, could be sometimes months. But then you have to appoint that person, because that person might not be on the school list, you know, when you didn't put it on the school list to pick up the children. But that person, when they go with your will and testament saying, look, I'm the one who will keep the children up until the person arrives, then that will happen.
Okay, I hope Wangugi, I hope that answered your question. Okay, so anybody who's listening, if you don't have a will, guys, right now, don't wait until tomorrow. I win a lottery and I'm rich, I want to write a will. It has nothing to do with that. This is all about your children. And remember as well, like we just heard Martha saying, if you have children under the age of 18, is it 18 or 16, Martha?
18.
Under the age of 18, and you, especially if you're a single parent and you passed on, the government will take your children. Yeah. So guys, please, this is ASAP, do your will. You don't have to have money to do your will. You don't have to be rich to do a will. It's all about your children, okay? So thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Now I want to, I know we have a guest here, Frank. So if Frank has any question as well, he's going to ask us. But before that, I just want us to talk about review. You know, when some people say, oh, I have insurance already. Yeah. Do you guys review people's insurance, and can we, Tyrell, can you talk about reviewing people's insurance? Because I know that now with Precise Protect, yeah, you get it cheaper or lower, or I don't even know which one to use.
Well, very competitive.
No loading on the policies, that's why. There's no loading. Usually we are cheaper 20% than any other broker on the market. And this is because we've got no loading on our policies, which basically means we get paid less commission just to provide for our clients, just to give them better cover for less.
Okay. Well, okay. Tyrell, do you want to add anything on that? Oh, sorry, Martha.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I keep talking.
Sorry, Martha, go on.
You know, also when you ask, sorry, Tyrell, I know you were meant to say it, but you know, Martha is a troublemaker. I have to go.
It's all right.
When you said about reviewing the covers, we have to remember we always have to work in the best interest of the client.
That's right.
Whichever we give a client, we don't really give it to the client. We assess his needs. We assess what they've been doing, the areas they need to be protected within that particular person. We gather all the information together just to give them the best cover provided. Obviously, if they are having, because under the UK law and FCA, we are not able to rebroker anything, so we don't do it. But if we find in our system cover which better suits the needs of the client, or they need to add something or pay less money, reduce the cost, then we are able to do it. Clearly, we can do it with 100% of the covers on the market because we are 20% cheaper.
Wow. Okay. Thank you very much, Martha. Tyrell, do you want to add on to that?
Yes. So regarding the reviews, the review in your policy is extremely important. And the reason why is because when we review them, we realize a lot of people that have taken out policies with the banks, they have accidental cover only. So what we can do, and they would have never known that if we didn't review it. And also we review it for free, no cost or no extra charge.
That's right.
So we review it.
That's right.
What we tend to see is a lot of covers have accidental death. So that means you would have to pass away by an accident in order to get paid out. So we can change that for you over to a more suitable cover for your needs. We also, as Marta said, we can get the covers for a lot cheaper the majority of the time. It's not in all cases, but the majority of the time. And the most important thing is when we review it, we can find you a cover that's more suitable for your needs. So because most banks and stuff, they're not allowed to give you advice. They can just give you the product. So we can advise you and find you a cover that will fit your needs. So for example, the term, we can change the term and just a cover more suitable for yourself. So yeah, it's important. I'll say it's very important to get a review.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys. So just to tell people who are watching, guys, please share the video, share this talk so that so many people get educated in regards to what we're talking about. Because what we're talking about today, this is a very important topic. Forget everything else we talk about. This is so important because this is about your children and it's about you as well, but mostly is about your children. Taking insurance is about your children. Taking funeral cover is about your children. Critical illness is about your children. Everything is centered up within your family. Now, before we can go to Frank to ask any questions if he has, or Jordan to add on anything if he has, because we have two guests today, we're going to talk about recruitment, okay? So, Marvin, I want just everybody to tell us just small, because we are running out of time, just something small about recruitment.
Okay,
so I'll start with Marvin.
Yeah, so we are actively recruiting for advisors and non-advisors to join our team. You know, if you're passionate about helping people, and you know, a lot of people are struggling at the moment. A lot of people have lost their jobs, etc., been furloughed, and are struggling at this time. But we're in an industry that is always advancing and progressing, and there is an opportunity for individuals with the right capability to join our team, you know, and make a difference in people's lives. And also in their own lives, you know, because at the end of the day, in life is what we do for others that matters, you know. So it's literally, it's a massive opportunity. So it's not just in regards to setting up policies for individuals, but giving them opportunities to, you know, to change their lives and to be in to do something worthwhile for their community.
To get some decent money, Marvin.
Yes, you know, and also, to change their lives financially. You know, so it's rewarding, and you get paid accordingly as well. You know, so you change people's lives and you change your life as well, because at the end of the day, we are on a path for, you know, financial freedom, generational wealth. And if you want to be a part of this, this is the time, you know. So, and it's all about taking, a lot of people are very, they'll rather live for security instead of opportunity. And a lot of people are watchers. They'll watch and watch and watch until they miss the most precious opportunity, you know. So stop watching, pick up your phone, give us a call or message us, and we'll give you more information.
Thank you very much. Do you want to add anything there, Sarah, regards to recruitment?
Yes. You know, for me, this job isn't, this isn't just a job for me. This is passion. This is something I'm very passionate about. I mean, you know, if we had time, I'd share my story about what makes me so passionate about this job. But, you know, with that put to the side, if you're looking to change your career, I used to be a bus driver. I drove the bus for 7 years and I wanted something fresh. I wanted something that I loved. I wanted something that I'd enjoy. I wanted something that would help to change people's lives and not just my own. And that's what this job does. Becoming a financial specialist is not just a title that sounds great. It is actually a really good job. So, you know, if you're looking for something new, if you do not have to have experience, we give you full training. Okay, we provide full training as well. But if you're looking for a fresh start, if you're looking for something that will, you know, you are your own boss, because we are self-employed, okay? And this is, you know, we're self-employed. So if you're looking for something that you really want to carry for yourself and begin to build something for yourself, definitely give us a call, and let's get you booked in, you know, for a chat, and just to kind of see, you know, how we can help you, how you can help us, and how you can begin to benefit others as well. Because, you know, you might hear us talking and it might sound like a job where we're sitting in front of papers all day and papers are flying over our heads and the phone's ringing and we're like using hands and feet, you know, to deal with things. But yes, you know, it's a very rewarding position at the end of the day. And if you are looking for something fresh, you know, give us a call. We'd love to have you. So,
Thank you so much. Martha, do you want anything to add on recruitment?
Well, I believe everything has been said, but while you are talking, I was just thinking maybe it's a good idea to do another live with just recruitment, so we can actually show people what they can have and how it works properly.
Wow, yeah, that's it. That's good. Yeah, I think we'll have a day for that one as well. Thank you so much, Martha. Tyrell, do you want to add anything on recruitment?
Yeah, just going off of what Sarah said, I think the best thing about what we do is that you don't need no previous experience. So you could be in a whole different field. And if like you're passionate about helping people and also changing people's lives, you can join us and do exactly what we do with full training provided.
That's right.
You're working with so much people that have got experience in what we're doing. By the end of it, you should be an expert at what you're doing. So yeah.
And just to add a little bit, you know, I like to talk, but just to add, literally, so I don't like to call it work. It doesn't feel like work or a job. It just have a negative feel to it, because it's. When I look back to things I've done, you know, I was a prison officer previously. I've worked in all types of the general 9 to 5 work, etc. It's I can't see myself doing anything else, you know, because you get to work around your family, you get to work around your life. You know, you don't need to start asking when you can go on holiday, when you can do, you know, as much as we are under a company, Precise Protect, but we are our own business. This is our business, you know, so it's absolutely life-changing, and it's a blessing, to be honest. It is a blessing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Somebody says, Sarah, you are very passionate. I can tell it's from your heart. So come, let us recruit you. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Frank is one of our guests, was just listening today. Frank, do you have anything to say?
Thank you so much for every presenter. Before I ask the question, can Mother repeat her number?
Martha. Her number is
70337.
Come again.
077 958 70 337. Yeah.
Thank you. I have 2 questions to ask. Roughly, how much is the income protection installment? And for critical illness, how much roughly is the installment per month?
Okay, let's start with Tyrell. Please answer that.
Yeah, so regarding the income protection, it all varies depending on whether you're a smoker, depending on your age, if you have any pre-existing medical conditions. So there's not just one price. It all varies. But what you can do, if you get in contact, we will be able to go through the fact find with you, and we'll be able to get you a quote on how much you need. So for example, some people, you may be able to get a benefit of £3,000 worth of the income protection. However, you may be able to live off of 1,500. if you was off work due to a sickness or injury. So it all depends on the benefit amount that you take out, as well as your age, whether you're a smoker, and if you've got any pre-existing medical conditions.
I think you should, Tyrell, maybe you should give your number as well. So just give Frank your number.
Yeah, my work number is 073 878 67898.
Thank you.
Okay, Frank.
Okay, Sarah, the critical illness question, please.
Yes, thank you, Frank. Okay, so it's very similar again to what Tyrell said, because with insurance, we work by person to person, condition to condition, health to health. So, you know, critical illness can come as cheap as £6, £8 a month, depending on who you are. And it can be, you know, up to, let's say, £20, £30 a month. Again, we have to remember that the premium you pay depends on the amount of a sum assured that you desire. So let's say if you want £15,000 critical illness cover, somebody, let's say 35, they can get that for like £12 a month, really cheap. But then again, it depends. But also with that come added benefits. And if you want to add things like fraction cover, hospitalization, extra children's benefits, that kind of kicks it up a little bit by 50p. Waivers of premium is also something I realized none of us mentioned here. If you have waivers of premium on your insurance, on your life insurance, critical illness, if you have it on your income protection, waivers of premium is something that's very important. For as little as 50p a month on top of your insurance, if you was out of work for a certain amount of time, your insurance continues to get paid without you having to pay a single penny, because you're adding that to your policy. That keeps you covered. So if you're out of work, there's no need to cancel your insurance, guys, if you've got waiver of premiums, okay? So remember that when you're talking to us. Remember, say, Marvin, Tyrell, Lydia, Sarah, Marsha, give me waiver of premiums just in case. You know, you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So, you know, so Frank, it depends again on individuals, but then little tweaks like that can push up your premium, but for the benefits of yourself. Okay.
I think you should give your number as well, Sarah, to Frank. So maybe if he wants more clarification on that.
Yeah, sure. It's 07572 008 675.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you so much, Frank. Any more questions or you're done?
I was just wondering, before even I give them a call next week on Wednesday, especially on critical illness, as Sarah discussed, because this sometimes when one takes this insurance, there's unforeseen things like the way they said about illness and all this kind of thing. So if it comes, does that mean the insurance have to go up what somebody have taken, or what happens in that case?
Okay, is that for me?
Yes.
Okay, so the good thing is, if I took out critical illness today, okay, and let's just to say 5 weeks from now, something was to come up, I'm covered for whatever it is that may arise today, tomorrow, as long as the first premium has been paid. Okay, and I'm going to clarify this because most of it, they intertwine with life insurance, income protection, critical illness, most of it intertwines. So the minute your first premium is paid, you are covered from day one of your first premium. Okay, some insurance companies will cover you from the day you sign. Okay, because if it goes into underwriting, that's not down to you, that's just down to the process. So some insurance policies will cover for 30 to 90 days, depending on how long it will take them to cover somebody. So when unforeseen circumstances do arise, as long as you're already insured, you're covered for those things. But then again, advisor to advisor, advisor to client, I will have to ensure that you know exactly what you're covered for. Okay, it's the same thing. So let's just say if someone was a previous smoker and I'm doing the application form, they said to me they don't smoke anymore, I need to know if you stopped smoking last week or if you stopped smoking 10 years ago, you know, because if the underlying issue arises and it's from you smoking, let's say 3 months ago, but I put you don't smoke on the form, it can complicate things. So it just depends again on what the circumstances that arise is.
Thank you. And
welcome, sir.
Immediately I start making the payment. Do I make payment to your company or to insurance company, or what is your law between you and insurance in terms of payment?
Can Martha answer that, please? Martha, did you hear that question?
No, I didn't properly know.
Frank, can you answer that?
What I asked is when I take any insurance that you spoke about, do I make payment to you, to your company, or to the insurance company, or it's you to deal with the insurance company?
No, Frank, because we are a brokers, we've got access to the whole of market. We can actually compare every single provider on the market, and that means we are choosing the best option for yourself. We are assessing your needs and then checking which provider actually matches with that needs. And then what happens? It could be Aviva, could be Zurich, could be anyone else. So basically, we are the people who are setting up yourself with that company. And now, in regards to payments, you are the company which we choose for you. We will apply to them to cover yourself, and then your bank details are going to that provider, and he will be taking direct debit out of your account. It never touches our account. We have nothing to do with money transferring. It's you and the provider who deals with the money. So you pay directly to the company. Actually, they are taking it out of your account. So yes, but you pay.
I just want to also add that in regards to being protected, as soon as the policy, if there's no underwriting, there's no medical conditions, as soon as the cover goes live on the provider's system, you're covered, even before that first premium comes out.
That's what we call policy on risk, which means policy is not paid out yet, like the first payment haven't gone through, but you are already insured. Also, just if we speak about the underwriting, if the policy is like, let's say you've got health conditions and you have just bought a Zurich cover. So what happens is that policy goes to underwriting, which means they have to assess your medical records, but in the meantime, you're always protected on your life cover. In between that, before the company gives you an answer, then you are still protected, just for the life cover, not for the critical, just life cover. You are always protected within the underwriting time.
Free cover, they call it, isn't it?
And just to clarify who underwriters are, because some people ask who is underwriters, because we're just underwriters, we're thinking everybody knows. Underwriters are like doctors and nurses. If you have any medical issue, they now analyze your application, and they say, oh, this person had probably cancer or diabetes or blood pressure. Can we actually insure this person? Is this person at risk? So those are called underwriters. They're the ones that decide whether you have insurance or not. So those are the underwriters. And underwriters are made up of doctors and nurses.
And also, just to add on Lydia's point, at Precise Protect, as advisors, we have direct access to the underwriters. So unlike other, providers and other companies, they have to go through someone else to get hold of these underwriters, where we can pick up the phone and deal with the underwriters immediately. We don't have to wait for letters to come through, emails to come through. We have direct access to the underwriters. We can find out pre-application if your policy is going to be affected by any kind of increase or anything like that. So we can actually do that as well. So you get quite a lot from working with us, to be honest.
Thank you.
You guys get a great package from working with us, honestly, seriously. We're here to help. And this is it. We are here to help. And because we're here to help, our company ensures that we have access to whatever it is that you as our clients need.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you, everyone. And thank
my
you
battery's dying.
For reading my mind. Because the next question I was asking is about underwriting. But
where was it?
Yeah, because I thought about asking, who are these underwriters everybody's talking about? So thank you very much. Jordan, I don't know if Jordan is there. Jordan, is there anything you want to add on before we finish? Probably Jordan is not there. Sometimes they say that in my country, the people in the office, they get paid, they just leave their jackets, they come to the office, take their jacket, leave it there, and then disappear. So if the big boss comes in, they'll see their jacket and they say, oh yeah, Lydia is around, but Lydia is not there. Lydia is gone long time. So Jordan has put his jacket there. He's gone.
He's gone. Can I just add something real quick? So in regards to what Sarah was saying about the added benefits you get with us, also in regards to certain, because we know all the providers inside out, we know what each benefit that each provider can give, you know, which you can't get anywhere else. You can only get it with an advisor. But also we can help you through the claims process. You know, with when you get it with a bank, it's only the hours that the bank work, 9 to 5, you can get them. With us, you can get in contact with us anytime. You know, for me, I'm 24/7. My clients come first. It doesn't matter what time it is. I'm available whatever time my client is available. You know, so that's the extra that you're gonna get having your own personal advisor. You know, so it's something which is, it's beneficial in so many levels.
Okay. Thank you very much. Somebody say, thank you very much, guys. This is so inspiring, educational, eye-opener, very brilliant speakers. Thank you so much. Lydia Olet, I need help to do my will as soon as possible. Guy, call Martha. Martha is the one dealing with wills, not me. So just before we finish up, everybody, if you want questions regards life insurance or whole of life, as we call it, whole of life insurance, or family income insurance as well, please contact Marvin. His number is there. So his number is on my Facebook. I'll just repeat it again, so if you're writing it down. So if you want life insurance, please, just for more clarification, contact Marvin. His number is 0757563131. So that's Marvin's number. And also, if you want more clarification on critical illness, please contact Sarah. Her number is 0757-200-8675. And if you want more clarification on income protection, please contact Tyrell. His number is 0738786798. And if you want more clarification regards to will and testament, please contact Martha on 077-958-70337. Guys, it's very, very important to have this. Somebody say, thank you so much. This was very inspiring. We'll get in touch. Somebody else said they'll get in touch with you. So guys, thank you so much. Yes, please.
Can everyone present who wants the will, instead of calling me, because obviously that's a bit tricky sometimes, can I have the email address of every single person present who wants the free will? And that to be sent to you so you can actually talk to those people. But then just the email addresses, I will send all the information with the procedure, what's happening next.
Okay. So many people are saying thank you very much. That was eye-opening. Thank you so much. So many people, thank you so much. That was good. Thank you. All right. Okay. So I think this session was needed. So open people's eye, really, because a lot of people don't really know more about insurance. And that's why we find that in our community, a lot of people don't take out insurance because they don't have the knowledge, because they're just thinking, is this scary thing? And I don't know what this, but this session is very important. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you want, I will send to, just send it to me and then I'll send it to Martha. Somebody said their email address. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. So please, just 1 second. Do you want to say something, Marvin? Just 1 second for everybody, just 1 second before we log off.
Yeah, just thank you everybody for giving us the time. We're always available. We always put you first. Thank you. And knowledge is power, but understanding is even greater, you know, so you need to understand. It's a lot of things people know, but they don't understand it, you know, and that's what we actually make things a lot simpler, you know, for you. Having advisors, we allow it to be, you know, manageable, allow you to understand what we do and the small print, etc. So yeah, thank you everybody, and we hope that you have a lovely evening.
Thank you so much, Marvin. Tyrell, we've lost Sarah.
No, I'm still here, funny enough. It's just my video. My camera battery died, guys, but Sarah's still here.
Can you pay for your electricity, please, next time?
This is a NEPA. NEPA didn't take light too.
Okay, Tyrell.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for everyone for tuning in, and like I respect you a lot just for listening to the information, because a lot of people, that's their biggest problem. They don't have the knowledge or the information, and then that there leaves them in pit holes later on in the future. And for everybody that does have a policy that's listening, it's definitely important to try and get in contact with any of us, just to review the policy, just to make sure that you don't have an accidental cover, that the term is suitable for your needs, and just to see if we can reduce the cost or find you a better cover for the same price. So it's important, everybody that does have cover, get in contact so we can review it.
Okay, thank you very much. Martha, just your last words.
Yes, thank you very much for being here, for having us. You know, you can look up you can look up for the insurances in the internet, you can look everywhere else, but on the end of the day, we are experts, we know what we are doing, we know how to protect yourself, because there is sometimes when you go into the internet, there is a writing in the small letters, you know, it's difficult. Sometimes people don't understand the terms. That's why we are here. That's why we want to be there for you. We are here for you 24/7, as Marvin said. No. But yes, the 24/7 is from 9 till 10.
9 to 10, Monday to Monday.
Monday
All
to
right.
Monday.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much.
So,
It was lovely to be here. Thank you, Lydia, for having me here.
thank you so much, Martha. Sarah, your last words, please.
Yes, I just want to say thank you, Lydia, for the opportunity to speak to everyone out there today. You know, the one thing I'd always say is, guys, they say knowledge is bliss. And when you have knowledge and you have information, one thing I always say is don't keep it to yourself, share it with others. Even if you've got insurance already, speak to people, they might not have it. Friends and family, loved ones, they might not have anything in place. And if hard time comes, you might be there to see their families going through these hard times. So just that by you sharing what you know, you're helping someone else. You know, we pass on information. That's how the world operates. The world operates through information being shared and passed around. And it's important for us to continue. That's another way for us to spread love through the things that we know that can benefit others as well, you know. So yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has taken their time out today to be with us. Lydia, God bless you, and may he continue to increase and prosper you.
Oh, thank you very much. Frank, do you want to say thank you, anything to the audience? You're a special guest today.
Thank you so much, basically for the eye-opener on so many other things that I did not know. And I'll get in touch with you on Wednesday. And there's a particular group where I chair in East Yorkshire that I would like to invite you to speak to them on Zoom because this is very important. And I also share the knowledge. And thank you for the good work that you're doing, because the black minority, then they miss this information, and later we come to regret later.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, guys. All I can say is knowledge is power. And
That's
remember,
right.
Devil is in the small writing. In the small print, that's where the devil stays. Because that's where, because we all know the devil is only here to destroy. So if you do not read those small prints, he will destroy your money. He will destroy your vision. He will destroy your goals. He will destroy what you want to do in future.
That's right.
So that's why we are here, to make sure that that devil in that little print, we delete that devil for you by advising you properly 100%. So guys, thank you very much. And until next week on Sunday again, as we come here again, every Sunday we have something we're talking about, different topics every Sunday. So next week on Sunday definitely is a different topic. But this topic today, I am so happy because this topic is to change people's lives and also to make sure that our children are secure. So thank you very much. Until then, love you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.